The halls of Mount Olympus ring with the sound of immortal feasts. Nectar flows, golden cups clatter, and the pantheon revels in the sunlit chaos of their own making. But look closely at the table. One brother is always missing. Ancient poets like Homer and Hesiod spoke of him with active revulsion. They depicted a realm of mold and rot so profound that even the other Olympians viewed his kingdom with absolute disgust. Down on Earth, mortals were so terrified of drawing his attention that they refused to speak his true name aloud. They averted their eyes when offering him the rare, dark sacrifices he required. Modern culture loves to cast him as a cackling, demonic adversary. But look at the surviving ancient depictions. You won't find a fiery, sadistic torturer here. He is Idoneus, the invisible. He is a victim of a cosmic system, burdened with the universe's most absolute, thankless, and inescapable function. The reigning order of the universe began with a violent coup. 3 brothers banded together to overthrow their father, Kronos, tearing the cosmos from the grip of the Titans. To divide the spoils of their victory, they didn't fight or negotiate. They submitted to absolute chance, a blind draw of lots. Zeus pulled the boundless, sunlit sky. Poseidon claimed the vast, restless oceans. The third brother drew the mist and darkness, and eternity locked beneath the crust of the earth. That single randing roll of the dice stripped him of political influence and severed him from the rest of his family. He was permanently exiled by a game of chance. Over millennia, the god became indistinguishable from his kingdom, silent, unyielding. He wore a helm that rendered him literally invisible, fading entirely into the gloom of his own domain. This face maps his realm's mechanics. In the lower right, the hound Kerberos greets arriving souls with fawning affection. But try to leave, and that affection turns to violence. The gates are one way. Overseeing this boundary, seated perfectly still in the center, is the king. The entire infrastructure enforces this permanence. Down at the river Styx, the ferryman Charon demands his coin. He ignores tears, ignores screams, and flatly refuses any bribes. Olympus runs on passion and vanity. The underworld is a flawless machine. Pity has no mechanism here. There is exactly one recorded instance where he shattered that isolation and forced his way into the light. He abducted Persephone. It was an act of brutal desperation. A god of eternal frost trying to hoard the physical embodiment of spring. Yet even then, he didn't secure her presence through emotion or persuasion. He offered her a pomegranate seed. Under the ancient, rigid laws of his domain, consuming the food of the dead creates an irrevocable legal contract. His singular moment of impulsive desire was ultimately enforced by cold, bureaucratic logic. The rules of the underworld bind everyone, even the king. High above, gods like Athena and Ares spend their days actively interfering. They scheme, they provoke, and they descend to the battlefields to guide the hands of mortals. They treat human lives as expendable playthings, demanding heavy sacrifices and manipulating massive wars just to settle petty grudges. Hades ignores the smoke of burnt offerings. He turns a deaf ear to prayers and rejects all negotiations. He simply waits. He does not act out of cruelty. He acts as the only incorruptible judge in a pantheon entirely governed by vanity. The moment a soul crosses his threshold, mortal hierarchies evaporate. The emperor and the slave stand completely equal before his throne. We call him the invisible because we refuse to look at what he represents. He embodies the quiet, mathematical certainty of our own mortality. We build our lives around the glittering distractions of the surface world. Every single story, without exception, ends in his perfectly fair, uncompromising silence.